we have invited Elizabeth Blakely, metaphysician, Reiki master, and author, to speak again. And we have from Elizabeth the following. Metaphysics, what are your questions? Enjoy a playful, interactive intro into psychometry, and my 8th consecutive week metaphysical class.
Thanks, Bo. Thank you very much.
I don't say that word very often.
I say it occasionally, especially when I'm teaching classes. It's one of the fun things that I like to do at one of my classes. Thank you again for inviting me back to speak today. And it's great to be in Nelson. I feel like I'm a little bit in exile way up in Lemon Creek, where I am. So I think eventually I'll gravitate back towards the Nelson area. But I feel like I'm needed there right now because a lot of people are coming to the area, which is really great. So I'm teaching up there meditation, not meditation. We all know the valley, right? Anyway, it's beautiful to be there, and I'm really appreciating the mountains and so forth.
Can you speak louder and clearer for me?
I can try. I can try. You want to come sit closer?
I don't know.
There's an invisible person here, actually. So I'll start off with my metaphysical classes that I'm getting ready to teach now. I've been teaching them since 2010 when I lived in the Sunshine Coast, and I taught there, and then I taught North Vancouver for a little while, and then I went back to Ontario and taught there for a little while, and then I landed in the Kootenays. So I've been doing these classes for about 4 or 5 years now. And the classes are all geared to what I've learned in my journey since about 1986-87 when I began to be on the path, so to speak. And since then I've gleaned a lot of information, a lot of practical experience with what I'm teaching. When I moved to Prince Edward County in 1986-87 from Alberta, I immediately began to meet people who were doing all kinds of interesting metaphysical things. I met a group who were dancing with Pan under the moonlight on the full moon, for instance, and they would do this for a whole weekend. How many of you know who Pan is? Great, great. Lots of people do. Yeah. For those that don't, Pan is a huge nature spirit who is multidimensional, and he's vast. He's kind of like creator, like God. He can be anywhere at once. And he is the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of the nature spirit realm. He's the head honcho. CEO. So I was introduced to Pan that weekend, and it was really fun because I didn't know how to dance with Pan, but somebody just started dancing with him and was representing him, and during that time I suddenly had a vision of Pan, and he has a goat-like body and he has a human-like head, and he's very joyful. He plays the Pan flute, which I'm sure John knows about. And he loves to dance, and he also is a transformer of energy in our dimension, between the second, third, and fourth dimension. It's where he does most of his work. So we can be introduced to Pan, and I introduce people to Pan in one of my classes. And so my journey has taken me around the world, also to visit sacred sites, and at these sites I discovered that memory is held in stone. It's also held in bone in our body, but it's also held in stone. So if you visit a site like Machu Picchu, for instance, in Peru, you can sit in one of those kind of cave-like places with all the stones around you, and you're shaking your head you've been there too.
I was there almost 30 years ago.
Oh,
and,
okay.
It was so full of people, I mean invisibles, that you were squished.
Yeah.
Even with all the space around you. Squished.
Yeah. It's a multi-dimensional portal there as well. So there's a lot of beings that are multi-dimensional that go in and out through that portal. So portals, vortexes, so on and so forth. I've encountered twin flames, I've encountered ontology and the Akashic records. And so in the first class that I teach coming up, we're going to talk about terms so that we get everybody on the same page. So we're going to go through about 50 different terms that I use in the classes so that people can research them a little, and I'll tell you about them. You know, others are clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairgustance. Clairgustance, for instance, is taste. When you have a psychic experience with taste, it's clairgustance, and clairsentience is knowing or feeling, and so on and so forth. And so we do that in the first class, and then I start doing some visualizations and invocations in that class to build the light body so that we can build this body into a higher frequency. The matter, there's no matter in the universe, it's simply consciousness. Aristotle got it wrong. Sorry, Aristotle. Scientists now agree with that too, that we are consciousness and a frequency. So what I teach in my classes too, what is important. The material stuff is not important, right? What's important in life if we're consciousness?
That's all there is.
Yeah, it's a spiritual life, right? It's spirituality versus materialism. And this is what we're here to express and experience and to expand in our lives here. So that's kind of the first class. And the second class, I talk about the 13 dimensions in Source. I've had experience with it was kind of like a zooming through all the dimensions where I reached the source. And it was during a cranial sacral session that I experienced this. It started with a bodily orgasm, and the energy just flew out of my body, and suddenly I am part of a huge vortex of light that is black light. But it also has all the other colors of the spectrum in it. And it's amazingly beautiful, and it's a spiral. It's a huge, huge spiral. And I found myself swirling around in the spiral. A couple of months after this experience, I was invited to be part of a spirit grandmother's time ceremony. And during that ceremony, we were introduced again to the 13 dimensions and source. And so the spirit grandmothers are ancient beings that birthed the earth after a great cataclysm. Yeah, so we have different parents. We're not all from the same generational parents. And some of us are more star people. We've come here from other stars and so on and so forth. So there's a huge collection of energies that gather here. So I teach about these dimensions and what's available in these dimensions from personal experience. And during that class, we learned a really, really great visualization called the Unified Chakra, where we bring in light into the center of our heart and we just keep expanding it until our chakras are all aligned, the ones in the body, the ones out of the body. So that's really exciting to do because people suddenly see that they aren't just matter, because we can tend to be physical or physically orientated some of the time. And that's good too. We are a body, and I do teach a class where we focus on the body and where I talk about superfoods that I know of, I give anti-aging techniques that I've learned, and we go through every organ in the body, the endocrine system, and we focus on different foods, for instance, that enhance the systems in our body. For instance, the liver, a great liver tonic is 1 potato, 1 carrot, and 1 apple. maybe juice of that when you're doing the liver, gallbladder type of a toning. Very, very effective. So we do that body class, which is interesting, and again do some meditation with that class. Every class starts with a meditation and with some invocation or visualization to expand our body, our light body, raise our consciousness. We do a class about reincarnation, past lives, where I take people down the staircase and see what we can see. Have we been Tyrannosaurus Rex? Or have we been part of a mountainside? Or have we been a king or a queen or a common soldier dying in a war? We go back down the staircase to see what we can access. Part of that class, we also try to access departed loved ones and to have a little chat with them, and that's always, I think, interesting for people because the other side is really so close to us. You know, it's right here. It's just right here, and we just can't see it a lot of the time. But if we just remember that those departed ones are close by too, we can communicate with them and be in touch with them. I'm not talking about ghosts here or people that are stuck in the fourth dimension. Up to the fourth dimension, we're subject to gravity, but after that, after we get through these dimensions and on to the fifth, we are no longer held by gravity. So if somebody is, you're seeing a ghost, that somebody, you know, an energy or a spirit that's around all the time, you're very likely stuck in the astral, which keeps them stuck to the gravitational force of the earth. So I also talk about the afterlife in that class and teach what happens exactly when we take our last breath. It's about a 20-minute process, and I used to work in hospice, so I've done that process quite often with people. Just recently did it with my brother who passed away in March. He was here, by the way, the one day when I just arrived back in Nelson area when somebody presented about death. Was anybody here? Do you remember that presentation at all? Yeah. And, it was really interesting, and I think I piped up and I said something, but he says there's a lot of light on the other side. I think Darlene mentioned something about that too. Yeah. So, and we again do some journeying, and in that class we do psychometry, which I brought a few objects with me today, which I want you to touch and have fun with. Do you want to do that now? Take a break? Or later? Sure. Now? Okay.
What's psychometry then?
Psychometry is being able to read it.
Touch an object and read it.
Excuse me. Psychometry is reading objects. Yeah, reading an object and being able to. Excuse me.
Can I get you water?
Something to drink.
Can I get you water?
I have some water.
Oh, okay.
I've had lots of smoke in my belly.
Yeah,
same.
she's got some eucalyptus water here that's really.
Eucalyptus, one a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Cover your glasses and
Carry my eucalyptus and read.
Yeah, right.
Just spray all around.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to spray them on you. It's just eucalyptus and purified water.
Yeah.
Fairy dust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody doing this?
Sure.
Everybody?
Everybody.
Hey, what is that oil?
Eucalyptus oil, just a tiny
Essential
bit
oil.
in purified water. And my grandson's having trouble breathing. And so I looked up this to make sure that he can breathe.
Can we drink it too?
I don't know, we'll have to look it up.
That feels nice.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
It's really good.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So again, what's your name again? Chelsea. Celestina? No,
Calis-
Katharina. Yeah.
Katarina.
Katerina. So psychometry is reading objects and being able to read the energy on them, and it's a really good exercise because it helps us to learn to read energy anywhere we go and things that we touch, right? So I brought this stone here, which I'm going to pass around. So take how long can we take? 30 seconds each. Just connect with your higher self. Your superconscious, just allow yourself to connect to your higher self, superconscious, and feel that stone and try to read something from that self. stone that I love a lot. Does anybody? Okay, go ahead.
The first thing that I got was really weird. Like, I got this vision of this dinosaur with a long face, some kind of lizard, and then I saw a crisscross grid, some other planet, some kind of web, Europa maybe or something like that.
Where?
Europa.
Europa.
Yeah, like it's one of the moons of Jupiter. I just saw that. It looked like an interconnecting grid because Europa's got interconnecting grid of ice.
Okay.
Then I saw a dinosaur.
Interesting.
That's just what came to me.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
I didn't see a dinosaur, but I definitely, the first sensation was that the material, a lot of material in that, not all of the material, but a lot of the material in that is from somewhere else. And then just really all of a sudden it just felt weighty, like millions of years old here until it's in your hands. And so just the density of it now, holding the density of it now was not at all dense before. I just and then dense on this planet.
Yeah, you're right about it. It's not from this planet.
I found myself inside of a cave. And the cave was lit. There was light in the cave, and I got a sense that it was a place where beings lived.
I was feeling also very strong feeling of cave, and very much the healing, but the rejuvenation or something present there had been more for gathering beings there, and it was cooling effect, not hot. It was very, very cooling, very hot head, cooling. And gathering for it.
The first impression I got was a black angel wing. I looked at it and, like it would be, and some connection with birds. And then there was this pulse of light, but it was a pulse that, because of the density of it, because this density is like a balancing and holding for the infinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I don't feel things when I hold them in my hand. I was surprised when it got here.
You didn't hold it very long.
No, because that doesn't do it. I feel myself into something when I'm not necessarily touching it. And I saw it rolling down the hill with lots of other stones like that, and it was very happy. It made me happy. And there was something about a monastery or something on top of the hill with a lot of connectedness with the all there is, and a lot of happiness around it.
Yeah, I found myself floating up way up high, and I just kept going, floating. And for an instant, it seemed like I didn't want to come back. I felt so free and so relaxed.
Nice. Feeling more like a frequency.
Yeah.
Consciousness. Great. Well, you guys are really awesome.
So what's the truth about it?
I was sailing in the Gulf Islands in 2010 when we parked the boat near a beach, and I kept being pulled to this one site on the beach, and I found this stone there, and I immediately connected it with Lemuria. It's an ancient Lemurian stone. And it was used as part of a bigger stone. It was part of a bigger stone, sorry. That was used for ceremony, and it was used by people who communicated telepathically, and very likely in caves as you were experiencing, and so forth. But it immediately brought that feeling of happiness and a very happy family.
Good.
So I've loved it a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great. Want to do another one? Sure.
Well, how about we try to do the same? We just put it on the table and see if people can feel it. You mean another stone? Or what do you mean by another one?
I have this object here, which I
Oh, I
want to
see.
pass around, and that I would like you to read if you'd like to. This one over here. You must remember to connect to your super consciousness and allow your higher self. The super consciousness is the past of your God's part, your God self, and that part knows everything. When I first started doing psychometry and connecting to my higher self to know things, I was often, it was when my children were teenagers and we were often playing games and guessing games and so on. So it was really enlightening to connect with the higher self and then play these games and just know what an answer was. You know, it was just like coming in. You know, it just comes in like a strong force. So it's really good to be connected.
This is a while.
Feel free to play it if you
Very, very careful once you get some ground.
Feel free to give it a little tap. Unfortunately, it got time in one of my boots, so I scotched it.
My hair's still standing up and it won't let down. Or something true.
Sorry?
I had my hair stand up on
On
end
end, when you held the
something's
crystals?
true. Well, when anything
When anything is
resonates
true.
as true.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like,
You're a
it's
healer.
like,
Acceptance.
Dilemma.
Throw it over to Dan. Do any of you shop at thrift stores occasionally? Yeah, they're great fun. I do too. And sometimes you see an object where you just go like, you kind of like it, but you just like, and somebody has dumped it because they got the gift from their great uncle or somebody, and they really have hated it all their life. So finally it gets put into a drift jar. And in one of my classes, I teach how we can clear the energy that's not there for its highest good from an object. It's called a coning, and it's creating a conscious vortex of energy to clear energy from objects and from clear with sound.
On this moon, depends what the guidance is.
Yeah.
But mainly the sound.
Another way. The way I teach conings and clearing is with connecting with Pan, who is a transformer of energy. Because whenever we release energy, it's a tangible thing. It has to go somewhere, right? So Pan is very happy to take energy that we remove from objects, from ourselves, from our houses, from places where we've found negative energies or trauma energy, and we can do a coning with him and the overlighting deva of that area. Devas are large energy beings. They're sparkling beings of light.
What I do, I connect it to Mother Earth. And she knows of the help of the something.
So I was saying about the devas, there are devas that you probably are contacting, maybe not consciously, but they are oversee various parcels of land. They're about 100-mile radius is what the devas look after, and there's environmental devas and land devas, and every plant and every form and animals also have overlying devas.
I'm connected.
Can I just finish this little sentence? Thank you. So the devas are, they oversee what needs to be changed on planet Earth by being there and working with plants and animals and energy from the environment and from the Earth.
Okay, I'm doing flower essences already 40 years.
Yeah.
So I connect each of the flowers.
Yeah.
Communicate
with the flowers. Yeah.
And communicate with the whatever you name you put it, they have a connection with the spirit of the flower. The flower is guiding you.
Right. Yeah. Great. Well, we still have that crystal going around.
This is where the baby.
Is it around?
Yeah.
Where did you feel that? Anybody find a place where it originates? Any chance?
New Mexico?
It looks like Middle East.
Yeah.
Yes.
Israel.
Yeah, Israel or Egypt or someplace like that.
It reminded me of a lot of happiness and dancing. Just moving energy, dancing and fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on. Yeah. I bought it from some Bedouin street vendors in Israel in a town called Akko. So it's a Bedouin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And this is camel skin on the top.
Oh, it's a camel.
And they've drawn a pretty picture on it too.
Sorry?
They've drawn a pretty picture on it too, on the top, on the skin, haven't they? Or was I just seeing something that wasn't there?
It looks like planet Earth.
Okay, well when she was holding it, I saw a direct picture, okay.
It's been a lot of joyful times. When I first saw this is the first object I bought when I moved to the Middle East, when I moved to Israel in 1991. And I've had a lot of fun with it, and I felt like it was a very joyful piece.
Did you say Israel?
Yes, I lived in Israel for 2 years.
You lived there? Lucky you.
Yeah. I followed my husband there, who went there as a peacekeeper.
Oh.
And, so.
Yeah, I'm very connected to the Middle East, to any of the countries. Been there many times.
Ah.
Maybe
Powerful.
that's why I recognize recognize it.
Powerful vortex. The whole Middle East. Powerful portal.
Yeah, powerful, eh?
My connection to angels began there in 1991, and I was meditating at the Western Wall, or the Wailing Wall, which is the only part of Solomon's temple. And the Jews come there to place their wishes. They write down their wishes on a piece of paper, and they stick these little notes into the crevices of the stones, the rocks of the wall. And I was told when I moved there by my landlady that should I have a request, I needed to go there to pray. Put my request in and pray for 40 days, and then my prayer would be answered. I never had any pressing prayers when I lived in Israel, other than to be safe and not be too explorative, that I would not honor my intuition and my spiritual guide's advice. Going somewhere on some days was not, didn't happen because my guides would throw this huge wall in front of me. And then I knew I wasn't to go there that particular day. But I was meditating at the wall when I saw a huge angel lying right across the whole wall. It was like, I think it was about 50 or 60 feet, that part of the wall. And she was laying there like this. She had on a beautiful white gown with a golden belt and golden hair. And she was laying there like this and listening to all these prayers. And I thought, wow, did we need somebody listening when we prayed?
Well, I hope so.
It was like confirmation of that. And at least at the Western Wall in Jerusalem. But I've come to know that there are beings that are listening when we pray.
Are there women allowed to pray at the wall? I can only remember men being
yeah,
there.
you can do the wall.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I heard now they have separate times.
Oh,
for
do
women.
they?
Oh, see,
Okay.
there had to be
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
More segregation.
Where are you teaching up in Manila, or do you
I'm
teach
going
here?
to be teaching here at the Manistone Center on Baker Street. 507, I think, is the address. It's just beside the candy shop. Pixie Candy Shop, yeah. And they're starting on the 26th of August.
During
At
the day or in the
6:30 at
evening?
6:30 in the evening. Yeah, 6:30 to 9. 2.5-hour classes.
What day of the week?
It's Wednesday. It's a Wednesday evening.
And how many weeks is it for?
8 weeks. Yeah, 8 consecutive weeks.
Do you have a website?
So we end
or
up kind
something?
of at the end of October.
Do you have a website or something?
I do. I do have a website. It's isismoonpublishing.com. And there's a brief description on the website of the classes, but I have a handout if you'd like. Remind me later. What did you experience with this stuff?
Vancouver.
Vancouver! Oh!
Pick it up.
Vancouver!
Up on the top, underneath.
It's been on top of Grouse Mountain, you know.
Is that right?
So, when I lived in West Van and North Van, I used to go up on the mountains on the equinoxes and solstices, and often I took pictures. At Grouse Mountain, by the way, was a volcano at one time. So it's, there's often UFO sightings there as well, too. You can see some of them.
I got health out of this holding onto it. It's like health. I need this.
Okay.
Hold on to it forever.
Yeah, it raised your vibration.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Crystals will do that, especially crystals.
Yeah, well, especially those.
This crystal comes from Arkansas, and did anybody have a sense of the spirit grandmothers at the time? Yeah, Dan, did you feel that? Or?
What I felt was when I touched that, I actually felt the Atlantis crystal computer stuff.
Oh, okay.
I felt a lot of computer somehow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I sometimes have it near my computer.
Right?
Yeah.
I felt a lot of fire coming in. Fire, just explosions when I came in.
Asian
Okay.
community not be familiar, or a more ancient civilization in Europe.
All my major crystals have been at the Spirit of Grandmother's time ceremony, and so I feel connected to them each new moon when it occurs. And so this crystal has been, and it's been in my medicine wheel since I created medicine wheel. I communicated with a native dream walker, Silver Eagle, while I lived in Jerusalem actually, and he taught me the medicine wheel. And when I returned to Canada, the thing I did was build a medicine wheel there on my property, because this crystal was in the center. So it's been in Israel too. They went to Israel with me, so it's been around out here. Great. Well, let's move on. Thank you for your participation. I hope that was fun and enlightening for you. Where have we not gone? We talked about our bodies class and chakras, cell reversal, anti-aging, and so forth. And I give a brain enhancement recipe in that class. It's a combination of herbs that I've been taking for about 1995, and I take it every year. And it was when I first started taking it, and had taken it for about 2 months. You just take it 3 months of the year. When I'd taken it for 2 months, I started remembering stuff when I was like 1.5 years old. So it really does reconnect the synapses that sometimes wear out at the base of the brain, connecting us to our memory bank and the thalamus and hypothalamus and the subconscious. So that class is always fun. And then we do the unseen dimension ones, which I've talked a little bit about kind of throughout my talk today, where I teach about the nature spirit realm, about Pan and the Devas and other nature spirits that I've encountered in my work with them. For gardening, I teach a MAP process where we get our own medical assistance team. MAP stands for Medical Assistance Program. And that again, we work with the Deva healing and with Pan and get our own team of the White Brotherhood. The White Brotherhood are masters who have had physical lives, and they are now crossed over into a dimension. They do not need to incarnate anymore, and they're helping facilitate our transition at this point in time of us Earthlings that are still left here. Us wannabe masters of our beingness.
Do you mean like Archangel Michael in the group?
Archangel Michael, I put them in a different category. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The Ascended Masters are 5th dimensional and above, whereas the Archangels are 11th dimensional. So, yeah.
Okay.
So they could be up into that dimension as well. Yeah, and we talk about the angels and archangels as well that I've seen and how they can help us with doing various processes on planet Earth. Yeah, so these kinds of classes help to enhance our clairaudience, clairvoyance, our sentience, clairgustance, clairalience. There's handouts for every class too, with the visualizations and intonations that we do in the class, so that we can continue to work with these because we need to. Our transformation doesn't usually, unless you're the Buddha, happen overnight. Instantly. So it's good to keep on doing some of these processes. Axiotonal recalibration or healing is a process with archangels, and it's working with meridians in the body. We do the CCMBA, which is a complete conscious mind-body alignment technique in one class. And don't get overwhelmed because there's one class at a time where we're going to be doing various processes and having an experience with that. Focusing to contact cosmic conscious and quantum mechanics, techno-spirituality. Techno-spirituality are exercises to enhance our magnetism, which enhances our brain function and these were movements that I learned from Akta. You know, have you heard of Akta?
No.
No? You haven't heard of Akta? You have? Yeah. He's a Mayan teacher. He calls himself a walker. He's been walking around the world since about, I think, 2011-12, teaching Mayan, various Mayan prophecies, Mayan invocations, the technical spirituality, quantum mechanics, and so on. And he happened to be in Salt Spring last year, and he was there 3 times. I visited him and spent time with his workshop, and he taught us these movements that I'm now continuing to teach, which I find really, really amazing. If I wake up in the morning and I'm feeling a little stiff and I do these 4 movements, it's like, yeah, they're connected again. You know, so they're very, very good. We talk a little about sacred rituals and what we can do to enhance our properties and so on and so forth, and that's working with crystals. And then I have a mystery class where I take you to some PowerPoints and I talk about PowerPoints around the area.
Oh.
We go to an inflow vortex and an upflow vortex. And we do a meditation.
And we don't go there.
Yeah, we do.
Physically?
Yeah, we physically go there.
Yeah.
We go on a little trip.
I know of 2 of them. I wonder where you would go.
You should be sending all the students to this course instead of the school.
Yeah, that would be good. A little better, wouldn't it?
Teach it in grade 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yes, yeah. By all means. Yeah, maybe I should approach Waldorf and maybe be interested in
We'll keep it in here.
So how would you describe metaphysics?
Metaphysics?
I mean, meta, you've got position, the word position, and metaphysics. So,
Meta means beyond, and then physician means the physical body. So what the basic meaning is Latin, it means going beyond the body. So metaphysics today encompasses lots of different things, Reiki, some psychotherapy, and telekinesis, teleportation, the psychometry that we did, enhancing their clairvoyance, all those clairs. There's a broad scope of metaphysics that's going beyond the body.
Dynamic craniosacral therapy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's when I had that experience of shooting out in the universe and touching source. So, any more questions?
Just lost the knowing about cranials. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, I just got to it.
Oh, okay. I forgot what I talked about there.
Well, I'm wondering, I have these spontaneous experiences, and I have one that maybe you can shed some light on, because I've always been curious about what actually happened. So it was in Hawaii, and a friend and I had actually taken her into this cave, which was kind of off the path and up on the side of the mountain. And the cave actually contains water, and it's very rocky. And I went down to sit by the water, which was down in the cave, and she stayed up top. Well, the cave itself had markings all over. Big ceiling, big cave, bigger than this room. It had markings. And I sat down by the water for about a half an hour. And then when I got up and started to climb up, I recognized, I felt very different. And I had to be very, very careful climbing up. And I had to focus on putting one foot in front of the other, in front of the other, in front of the other, as I climbed up, which I usually don't do, I just scamper up. But And my friend, who's very connected to spiritually, as I got close to her, she looked at me and she laughed. And she said, are you having difficulty getting up here? And I said, yeah, I really have to focus. I said, do you know what's going on? And she said, well, for one thing, she says, your crown chakra is wide open and light is pouring out of it. And so then I get up and she says, yeah, you better sit down for a while. So I sat down and I'm sitting in a cave and I'm looking at all these markings. And then all of a sudden they turn 3D and I'm seeing like two people, looks like a king and a queen sort of thing, but ancient times, sitting on thrones, and in front of them is a roadway, and there's buildings and villages around them, and then I keep looking around, and everywhere I looked in the cave, it was pictorial. It had just morphed into, I could see donkeys, I could see, just very, now these caves are this area is Lemuria, the ancient remains of Lemuria. I don't know if it was that, but the fact that it kind of morphed into this 3D, do you have any explanation?
You went into another dimension. Yeah. Sounds like you flipped right through third, fourth, and like a fifth. When we see things that are, were they animated too?
They were not moving. No. I was kind of wondering if somehow those markings were put there, or had it nothing really to do with the markings.
It feels to me like it's a very sacred site from ancient times when people went to do ceremony, and people would often be initiated in caves. So, yeah, it sounds like you have an initiation.
I get many initiations there.
That's nice. Did you, I'm curious about your crown chakra being wide open. Did you have to close it after a while?
She just said, okay, I'm going to take your arm and we'll walk back to the car. And then it just kind of faded away after a few hours.
Yeah. So you felt that your crown chakra was closed on its own?
Yeah.
When we do the Reiki attunements, we open up the crown chakra, but then we close it at the end so that the soul remains in the body. Because often people, if we don't do that, people have reported that the soul is not in the body. Yeah, we continue to travel the universe.
I have a question too, if I may. I've just come back from a trip and I was talking to somebody there in Europe, and to my great surprise, she was also connected, like, spiritually connected, what you want to call it. And she said she was told that we are souls. Oh yeah, I didn't know that she would talk about something like that. And she said she was told that our souls look like that. And it's like a little ball or something. And I thought, gee, that's strange, but I didn't want to argue with her or anything like that. Just kind of let it sit there. And I thought that was so strange. What do you think about that?
Well, scientists say that they can measure the soul. There's I think it's 3/4 of an ounce, or what's
21 grams?
21 grams. Yeah. What that is missing when the body, when they've taken into account all the blood, the water in the body, and everything else is measured after.
Oh, so that's what
these few grams
physically.
Yeah, which is what they're feeling is the soul.
But that's a feeling, that's the soul.
Yeah. This is unaccountable part.
So that's that measurement after a person has died?
Yes.
That's strange.
You think you're bigger than that?
Because it sounds so physical. I mean, the soul, I don't see a soul as something physical. It's like
it is a light vibration. So it has a frequency.
Oh,
So it is
yeah.
a thing.
It's an electromagnetic field, so it would have some mass.
Oh.
Like your bioenergetic electromagnetic field, that's your soul that incarnates. That field would have mass,
Oh,
some
so
mass.
it would have a mass.
Yeah, it would have some mass
Oh, I
because
see.
it's electromagnetic.
Ah.
So that's probably what
Oh,
what
I
that
see.
weight
Oh,
is.
okay. Great. Yeah.
And I have seen in a focusing session that we are sparks of that big spark. I went back to the Big Bang
Yeah.
in a focusing session, and we have that spark. So
Ah.
it's something that cannot be extinguished.
And that's our
It's
soul.
It's our soul.
Those little balls of light that make those crop circles. I don't know if you've ever seen those videos. Any of the videos?
Yeah.
Little balls of light. A lot of people see those balls of light, and some physicists have said that was ball lightning, but they make those elaborate crop circles, those little balls of light, and they're about that big.
Oh, balls of light.
Yeah, little balls of light that go around the field,
Oh.
and you see them
Okay.
make a crop circle in like 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've got about 3 of these videos showing these.
Oh, yeah. There's
Yeah, and
videos showing that.
yeah, and some of the channel material said that they're, one account says they're Arcturian light bodies. Arcturus,
Oh.
maybe.
Oh,
So maybe
I-
that's related to these little, your souls being sized like that.
Oh, I have to get you together with John Randall, who was interesting.
See, I had speaking of crop circles, I had a crop circle on my property in the Monashi Mountains.
Oh, yeah?
And yeah, and it was a ball of light that I think was about that big, and I saw it come through the roof of my house, and
Oh.
it came into my kitchen. I was serving my bed and breakfast guests dinner, and we were all at the table, and it came down through the kitchen. It rolled under the dining room table and out through the wall of my little house up there. And the morning we had a crop circle. I saw the crop circle, and I determined that it was done by the Syrians. That was who had projected that.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
It's very interesting. I've been at a lot of crop circles. Have you been at them too?
I haven't been at them,
No.
but I have a lot of shivers around a lot of crop circles, and those balls of light. When I've seen those videos, I like, some part of me knows what that is. That it's totally a genuine phenomenon from another dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty phenomenal. We had one in, I was observing crop circles in England for 2 weeks on my return trip from Israel, moving back to Canada, and there was one just about every day in August around Salisbury and that plain there, and the ones that were, all the ones that I were in were positive. They were clockwise circles, and of course extensions and all kinds of beautiful formations, not just circles. But when I arrived in Ottawa, I turned on the television there, and they staying in a hotel. Well, my husband was getting out of the military. He decided to get out when we got back from Israel, and turned the TV on, and they were reporting a crop circle just on the green belt in Ottawa. And I thought, holy cow, So I called up the television station, and I got directions to it, and went out to see it, and it was in a barley field in Bell's Corners, if you know Ottawa. It's just outside of the city limits, and the farmer had already, it was in a barley crop, and the farmer had already cut the barley, but you could see the swirl in the field, and it wasn't a really big circle. It was about as big as this circle, and I had this feeling I shouldn't step into it, but for research purposes I did anyway, and I immediately felt very, very nauseated. It was like this circle sucked the energy out of me, and then I realized that it was counterclockwise circle. So I determined that the clockwise ones that I was in England, they brought joy to my heart. They were like, you felt this immense, incredible, wonderful energy, but this one in Ottawa just sucked the energy right out of me, and I was sick for about 3 days after. So
That's so interesting, because that's good information for anybody exploring anything. The clockwise spirals are health producing, and the counterclockwise ones are very draining. And the same thing happens in all of our cells. Like when in cranial sacral, when I'm working on somebody, when things are releasing, it's clockwise. Anything that's a trauma and scar tissue in our body, whether it's physical or emotional, is a counterclockwise spiral. And that's what we're slowly undoing when we get healthy. That is, so it's through everything. It's amazing.
I know, yeah. So we're so interconnected with all that. And disease cells start to,
So Lorraine, when you sense people, most people counterclockwise? Or?
Well, their hertz. Say a person has 1,000 hertz from their birth. Those scar tissues under a microscope are counterclockwise. When they start healing, and they've shown this under high-powered microscopes in England, when things start moving and the fluid body is exchanging back and forth, whatever's going to heal, it starts to come undone. These held down spirals that are backwards loosen, and they start to let go, and they come back around to neutral, and then they start to make healthy patterns again.
So are our chakras? Both ways?
I don't know. I know more about. I always imagine that they're going clockwise, but I haven't studied it. I have studied tissues.
Yeah.
It's interesting in sound. I don't know the terminology, but I hear it in sound. It is difficult to describe, especially for me in English. I do not hear it in terminology, you know what I mean? Termin from
something's just don't
I'm very connected to Syrian energy, and they sometimes take me out of bed in the middle of the night, and I'm standing there, and there is exactly the star, and they just, I again hear it through sound. I cannot describe it. It is for me beyond description.
Speaking of sound, I wanted to share a little a sound invocation in one of the classes, and it's from the Kabbalah, ancient Jewish mysticism. And do you want to do that? Want to do that now? Sure. And then we wrap up unless there's any other questions. Sounds good. Time to wrap up. Okay. All right. So I always have loved the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Done on earth as it is in heaven. And then I always change the next few lines. I always say, I'm thankful for this day for my daily bread. And I put it all into a positive instead of an asking for stuff. And then I've always been mesmerized by the last lines. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. And the Anglican liturgy leaves out that last part. And that's best. And when I learned this little invocation from the Kabbalah, I thought, the Kabbalists know about this, the power of this. So what we do is we begin to visualize on the crown of our head a huge, sparkling, bright star. So you have a beautiful, beautiful, sparkling star, and you can bring that star energy right to the center of your body and out through your feet. And then you're going to bring that star to the right shoulder, bringing the star right across your heart and your chest to your left shoulder. And you'll see that you are creating a cosmic cross. The cosmic cross is divine power, and it cleanses our chakras, and it keeps us whole and wholesome, and it keeps us in the light. And the words for this are, and you can make a tripod with your right hand if you're right-handed, or a tripod with your left hand if you're left-handed. And you can now visualize that light. You still have the star beaming up on the top of your head. And you bring that light to your third eye, right between the eyebrows. And you give yourself a burst of light there. And you're thinking about the last lines of that Lord's Prayer. For thine, and when you bring that burst of light between your eyebrows, the words in Hebrew are ata. So you chant Verdine or Ata, giving that third eye burst of light. And then you're bringing that tripod to just under your sternum to the solar plexus area there. And you're saying Verdine, represented by the third eye, is the kingdom, is the solar plexus. So you're giving a burst of that beautiful starlight to your solar plexus into your tripod, and you're saying Malkuth. And then you're bringing that starlight to your right shoulder and you're chanting Vegebura. Bringing that light across your chest to your left shoulder and you're chanting Vegedu.